All right, and then that one's not moving over. Oh, you do.
Hit the menu button.
How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah.
That camera pick up that one first.
What's that, sir?
Does the camera pick up that one?
This one?
Does the camera pick up that TV screen?
I'm not sure if it does or not.
Anyway.
That's
William's not gonna be here tonight. He said he's gonna watch it, so I was just gonna see if, if that camera picked it up, if he'd be able to see the screen. But,
watching William follow
if
along.
he can, It is 6 o'clock, so, I'd like to call this business meeting for the planning and zoning to order. First of all, let me wish each and every one of you in attendance a happy new year. Hope you had a great Christmas, all the holidays, and ate all you wanted, and everything went your way. Santa Claus was real good to everybody. With that, I'd like to welcome you to the business meeting of the planning and zoning. And if you would please stand with me for a word of prayer, we'll get started. Father God, our fathers, once again that we are bowed in our presence, thanking thee for all the good and perfect gifts thou hast bestowed upon us. Our Father, we thank you for allowing us to see the year of 2024. Our Father, we ask you to bless each and every one here, bless each and every one in this entire world. Our Father, we ask that you get into our minds that we may make the right decisions as we try to do the business of the county. And our Father will be so careful to give you all the glory, honor, and praise. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Canola Scott. I'm the chair of the Planning and Zoning and appointed by the chairman of the Board of Commissioners. At this time, I'll ask each of the board members to please introduce themselves and to let you know what district that they represent.
Stephanie Hervin, District 3.
Good evening, Bruce Gandy, District 5.
Hi, Cynthia Fortson, I'm elected by the committee.
Kenneth Bradley, Vice Chair in District 1.
Lee Mitchell, District 2.
Of course, Ms. Patrick,
Yes.
zoning administrator. All right, our first order of business tonight will be to approve the minutes of our December 5th and our December 5th regular business meeting and our public hearing meeting on December 19th. Can I get a motion to approve? I think most of you have gotten it either by email or in your packet.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Kenneth.
Second.
Second by Bruce. Have any discussion? All right, Stephanie.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes. The minutes of December 5th and December 19th will be approved. Just so all of you will know, we're missing William Smith tonight. He's ill. He called and said that he didn't want to come and give everybody whatever he had. So I sympathize with him because just before Christmas I was there for 4 days, so I understand what he's going through. All right, at this time we'll go into our new business, discussion of zoning applications for January 16th, 2024 public hearing. And at this point, I turn it over to you, Ms. Tracy.
Okay. First up, we have Wayne Collins, and he is requesting to rezone his 6 acres, logging, and he is requesting to rezone his 6 acres from A1 to R1 to allow the property to be divided into 2 equal tracts to allow his daughter to reside beside him due to health issues. The property is located at 495 Old Royston Road in Danielsville on map 65, parcel 11A in District 4. And normally in these cases, if it's to help care for the father or something and you want a family member to be there, it would apply for the medical hardship case. However, in this circumstance, the daughter is going to have to finance her home that she's wanting to move onto the property. And that financing is requiring it to be on its own tract of land. So whereas the medical hardship, they could both be on one tract and it'd be fine under that medical hardship. But since they are not able to do that due to the financing, they are requesting to rezone it to be 3 acres each.
Okay. Any questions from the board on this particular one?
Is that all the land he owns is 6 acres?
I'm not sure.
He sold the tract number 2 in February of 22.
At the downsizing farm, he sold the chicken houses off of it, without having to go through a rezone.
Which tract was that?
The larger portion, if, the base where the 2 chicken houses are,
And it's on the
Yes, sir.
screen, can you see?
the larger portion.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. Any further questions?
I want to ask one about the easement. I know this is going to be split down the middle. Is the tract with the existing residents on it going to access off of Old Royston, whereas the other one will access off 29, or will there be an easement? So the need here.
So if you're looking at your maps, the current house has a entrance coming off of Old Royston Road.
Mm-hmm.
The entrance to this easement actually comes in off of the larger A2 tract that's not owned by Mr. Loggins anymore. They would have to put a drive-in off of 29 there in the curve, or either do an easement coming off of Old Royston Road into the tract. Did that help at all?
Yeah.
So if y'all look at the property and you're coming down 29, right to the old Dead Man's Curve, right there, and I'll have to recuse myself at the public hearing meeting because this is family land right here.
Okay,
But I can lay out where everything is. This easement on the larger parcel has 2 red brick columns, posts, entrance markers there. And then right in here is a cement driveway coming down, and they'll have to access, if they come off of 29, in between the 2, right there.
Those dotted lines,
This
is that a driveway or
is an old driveway that links the property from 29 to Old Royston Road.
so you're saying once it passes the house, that will no longer be, that's, the rest of that has to be an easement? Okay.
There's, y'all can see when you come out, there's a big gully here that feeds this pond with a spring.
Mm-hmm.
GDOT would have a field day probably right here. And I would, if it was me, I'd recommend an easement to come to the property off of this dirt road. But that's GDOT, not us.
So there are virtually no other options other than granting R1s to help these folks out. Maybe it's not possible,
Due to their financial
financial
situation, is my
Due to
understanding.
what
Best
they
way to
asked for
describe it.
financial.
Right.
But an ADU would be a possibility if you rezone to an AR not as in
Right.
A1.
Right, but that's not an option.
Not this point, they are 40.
I'll leave it at that. Everybody knows how I feel about R1s. And add character areas, so I'll just leave it alone.
All right, any further discussion? All right, number 2.
Okay. Next up is Sherry Smith, and she is requesting to rezone a portion of her 20.05 acres from A1 to AR to allow a split for a family member and to rezone the remaining acreage from A1 to A2 to bring the property into compliance. Property is located at 720 Bertha Willis Road in Carlton on map 106, parcel 46 in District 4. And, let's see. Her sister currently lives on the property, and she's just wanting to cut out 4 acres with her existing home on it. And in doing so, that's gonna, her parcel is lawfully non-conforming as is. So the reason I took the dual rezone route is that we wanted to make sure we put that remaining portion of 16.05 acres into the A2 since the 10-acre minimum is required there. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I have that.
So is this split? That's a long one. That's not the next
I'm
one.
sorry, I went down.
Oh, I was
too
gonna
far.
say, that's not the next one.
I apologize.
I think it's up some more ways.
Yeah, you gotta go up.
About
Okay, move that
what?
way.
Almost
There
I
you go.
apologize.
Now, does this create a flag lot?
Mhm.
No?
No.
No, looking at this one. How is she splitting?
I know
Where's the parent parcel?
the one right below that is,
You want me to show you the tax map?
Go back, yeah. Yeah, right there, that's, how they gonna split that?
So they're cutting off the right-hand portion of that picture. Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, looks like they're splitting the road frontage on this.
They got a 30-foot easement listed here.
Oh, okay, so that's how they're gonna get to that one, because of one easement. So they're not gonna have enough road frontage for that. It's a long easement.
So she's splitting the 4 acres that already has the mobile home on it? That's the new parcel?
Right, because she doesn't Miss Sherry, the property owner, doesn't live on the property, her sister does. So she's cutting out the 4 acres with that existing mobile home on it.
So that's one, the other side is gonna remain A.
It'll be rezoned to
A.
A2.
The dotted lines that are hugging the right property line, that go down, and then her easement will be off of that to get to the new parcel at the bottom. See what I'm talking about? See the dotted lines?
Yes, so he just shows the split, but yes, that's right.
Okay.
We'll access that bottom
So if
part.
you come off of Bertha Willis Road to get there, you're gonna come, is that a private drive, or do you know what that is? You see the roadway that curves through that 4 acre parcel?
Mm-hmm,
Is that the driveway?
it is.
Okay.
Memory serves, it's like a farm road, going back how they access the rear property when it's still one
Yeah.
piece.
The reason I'm asking is there are 6 parcels. There are 6 parcels down here that are owned by Ms. Smith. Are all 6 of these parcels accessed off of that one road, off of that drive?
My understanding is yes.
I can pull it back to tax map.
If that's the case, are we adding another one to an already over allowed drive? Does that make sense?
I would do.
Because any easement, private drive, or road can only access a maximum of 4 parcels. I'm sorry, when you hit the 5th one, that Bush was making.
And I understand some of those other parcels are wooded lots, there's no homes on them, but still they're parcels and they have to have access to them, right?
And I can't speak to whether or not she has access to another at this point.
They might keep
That's
going.
something we need to do.
That will be something that, we might want to ask her when we come to public here.
We got it ready here.
Any other questions? That's me. Any other questions? All right. Move on.
All right, let me pull up the site plan for this one. Okay, so next up is Joseph and Lisa Collins, and they're requesting to rezone their 5 acres from A2 to R1 to allow the property to be divided into 2 equal tracts to allow their daughter to reside beside them on the property. Property is located at 3092 Cherokee Road in Comer on map 102, parcel 71 in District 4. And, so this is another one, deed of financing. She must have her own tract. Her dad currently lives in the back of the property in a mobile home, but he is actually, gonna be putting in a smaller mobile home in front of this. And he will live in the new smaller home, and the daughter will live in the existing mobile home. Needs to be there for medical reasons, but financing is the reason that the medical hardship can't go through.
Okay. So each parcel will be 2.5 acres?
Yes, sir.
Next, but then the driveway, you access that back, or you still need the easement?
It'll be an easement. Cause they're split in half.
Well, it'll be coming in from, be accessing 2 different parcels, 2 different driveways.
Right. From Cherokee Road.
Thank you.
Good. Questions? All right.
Okay. Next up, we have Brett Smith, and he is requesting to rezone a portion of his 47.22 acres from A1 to A2 to allow a split to gift his son. Property is located at 0 M&S Lane in Comer on map 102, parcel 9 in District 4. Now, in actuality, he's given his son 15 acres. And, of course, he's just gonna rezone the 15 acres to A2, and then the remaining 32.22 will, of course, stay in the A1 zone. He will need an easement for this. And, he is in Cuba, but there's no breach.
He needs an easement even though he's got road frontage?
I don't believe there's enough to, split it out for both parcels. I don't know, this was just a site plan he submitted, but,
The reason I ask that is it says over here on the table that that's 208 feet of road frontage right there. I just wondered why he needed an easement.
mhm. I think the way it's gonna be cut,
Yeah, it looks like
how that's the
he's
parcel,
He's just doing it back,
yeah.
so we can't get back there unless he has.
Would you go up one more time?
Mhm.
One more. Sorry.
Just for my information, this has nothing to do with the rezone, I guess. You said it would not breach Cuba.
Right.
What breaches, I mean, what,
There's, and I don't determine those rules, I have to ask property valuation, but, in this configuration, since it was, his son, and it was done without a breach. Some things do breach and some things don't. We always have to get verification from property valuation.
Maybe he's old enough to do it, but it's only, you can only split 5 acres under that usual family split thing.
Right, right.
But there could be any, there's a lot of exceptions, so there may be another one that
Exactly.
applies.
But the most general one is the gift, it has to be a gift from
Mhm.
a direct family member.
Right.
And then it will carry on with the Cuba, they can't change. Like if it's standing in timber, they could build a home site,
Right.
but they couldn't take over 80% of that new parcel.
Yeah, I don't remember the details on that, to be honest. I just remember the one we usually see when you talk about family is the 5-acre one, so I know what Mr. Scott's talking about, but there could be some others that maybe be qualified to get it out without Cuba.
okay, just curious. All right.
Okay, next up. Now this one comes with a big backstory. We have Vincent and Bonnie Dentiste, and they are requesting to rezone a portion of their 16.97 acres from A2 to AR to allow it to be split and absorbed into their adjoining AR property, which is map 37, parcel 7, to enlarge the parcel to bring it into compliance with zoning regulations. Property is located at 2156 Highway 106 North in Danielsville, on map 37, parcel 8, in District 2. So what has happened here is this couple, I believe it's Bonnie's mother that lives on another adjoining parcel in a house that they've recently just purchased both parcels here. And they actually come in to get an electrical permit one day. And what had happened was there had never been a plat made for this parcel. And we are now going by the guidelines that if there is not an existing plat of the lot of record, that one has to be made. Well, there was only, let me get my notes here.
After January 1st, 1994.
Yeah. So there was only a 2-acre tract there, and it was on day 2. So I couldn't approve it, on that ground. So what they're having to do, let me get my notes there. All right, in order to get the plat done, she has to rezone because it's only 2.3 acres and it's A2. Since R1 would most likely not be passed, she did take the route of taking 2 acres off of her 16.97 acre tract of land and join it with her mom's 2.3 acres, and we're just putting it in an AR zone, since, you know, the R1s are kind of hard to come by. So they're just taking a little bit off of their parcel to put with the mom's land, so that she can have a plat recorded, so that she can get an electrical permit.
So she's taking track 2 and then track 1. Is that what she's doing?
She's taking, like, this was a 16.97 acre tract here, and she's taking 2.27 off there, and to add with that, her mom's 2 acres.
So the 4 acres, the 2 combined properties will be in her mother's name, and the 14.97 acres that are left will be in another name. It's not like they're all in the same name.
They're gonna keep it in the same name, they're just letting the mother live there.
Okay.
She's an elderly lady,
So if approved, it'd be approved on the condition that it has to be combined.
Right.
So they currently live on the 14.97 acres?
the mother does,
Mother does,
but they still live in,
Kennesaw.
Kennesaw, yes.
I guess where I was going with that was, there's two different residences being dealt with. All 3 of these properties could be combined. They don't want to do that.
That's right.
All right?
Okay. I got another, situation coming up here too, back to back. Okay, I pulled that site plan up first. All right, George and Cheryl Slayton are requesting to rezone a portion of their 14.16 acres from A2 to AR to allow for a plat correction. Property is located at 3036 Rogers Mill Road in Danielsville on map 26, parcel 29 in District 1. And I will tell you, the next rezone out following this has something to do with it as well. So if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and read that one, because it's all just one plat for both. But Daniel Fraser is requesting to rezone 3.03 acres from A2 to AR to allow a portion from an adjoining property on map 26, parcel 29, which is the Slade's property, to be absorbed into this tract to bring the property into compliance for a plat correction. Property is located at 2905 Rogers Mill Road in Danielsville on map 26, parcel 29-02 in District 1. So what has happened here is the Slaytons had previously had a tract of land, and it's 14.16 acres. Well, in March of last year, she sold Mr. Fraser 3.03 acres. And instead of this plat going through the proper zoning channels to have it recorded, like, you know, it used to have, in order to record a plat, it has to have zoning approval. Well, this one slid through the cracks because the surveyor chose to submit this as a recombination. And those do not have to have zoning pre-approval. He even though it's, you know, point blank said tract 1 and tract 2.
Not recombination, it was retracement.
Retracement. And so, but it wasn't a retracement. So this went on for almost a year, and so the Slaytons come in one day, and they brought this plat, and they too have a piece of land right here on this side. And they were just wanting to take their property here and, you know, join it with their property, so it'd just be one parcel. And when I had to tell her, I said, I can't approve that. And what's so bad is it checked all the boxes, that same zoning, it could have been absorbed into each other. But the problem was, this was still listed as its own standing A2, 3-acre tract of land. So I told her, I said, I can't approve that. And then we had to go through the ordeal, how did this even get recorded? And then after a nasty conversation with the surveyor, we determined, okay, that he split it in under false pretenses.
What's the,
So here we are.
what's the punishment for a surveyor falsely certifying a plat as a retracement?
I know, right?
You turn them into Samsung and let them take care of
Oh,
it.
And the 3 acres had never had its own parcel number assigned to it, it's just lot 2 of the parent parcel.
So they cut out the storefront there.
That's eventually where the old store is.
Yeah.
That'll go with the parcel where the home site's on the other side of the road.
So what we had to do was, okay, you've got to get another acre of land to make it at least 4 acres here. So the Slayton, after being threatened with a lawsuit, and they said, okay, we'll just give you another acre to add to that. So we have here today this 1-acre tract of land that's gonna be Z-barred and absorbed into that existing 3.03 acre tract of land.
And the gentleman with the 3-acre tract of land refuses to go to a residential zone. Because we offered
Yeah.
the option of that
going
parcel
to
going to
R1.
R1.
So the store, they have to want to rezone the store part to join with the house right across the road with it. Is that the 3 acres they want?
Yes, sir.
So will we have to take these up as one?
Probably
Different names,
separate.
different parcels too, yeah.
be different owners, different names, but you can speak better.
Well, I mean, we could, if they want us to,
We have to get their permission to do it, though, right?
yeah, I mean, there's not really a law on that, but it's kind of courtesy. I mean,
And
I would guess that they wouldn't want one without the other. I would
Right.
guess they would rather it be an up and down on the whole package. So,
And if we rezone the 1 acre with the condition that it has to be combined with the 3,
right.
that would automatically force us to have to approve. the 3 acre.
exactly, yeah, so,
And you can legally reach across the road and do that?
it's so weird.
I figured you'd say that.
Well,
According to GDOT.
there's, I've researched it many times from a different angle where we just have tracks that are split by a road and have been since beyond
I remember us
anybody's
dealing with one a while back.
And those, and I mean, I've researched this with the national treatises and stuff, and the general rule is simply building a road doesn't separate parcels. I've never actually had parcels that were already separate, then reach across the road to create
I
a
always
parcel.
thought that shop building go to that house across the road anyway.
Yeah.
I always thought.
Because it was the residence for the shop for the
Yeah.
longest time.
I always thought it went together anyway, so.
And technically, before the plat was illegally recorded, I guess is the right way to say it, it was still going.
Well, and that's what I was about to ask, so, given the fact that this 3.03 acres is actually not a lot of record, what is it a part of as a matter of record?
The 16 and change.
Okay, so it goes with the parcel on the north side.
It goes to 14.16?
Okay.
It was 16.
Yeah.
Was it?
Okay.
14, 16.
So as a matter of record, this is still 17.19 acres then.
Right, now here's the kicker. Over this past year, with all the kerfluffle that was happening between the buyer and the seller on this property and escrow already being gone through, property evaluation felt pushed to go ahead and assign the 3 acres of property, map and parcel number, and then rescind it
Hmm.
Didn't you say they just purchased it?
last year.
Last year,
A little
March
over a
of
year.
last
If
year.
the one that the closing attorney didn't catch it,
We had a phone call into it.
yeah, he should have caught that.
So as a matter of record, everything we're looking at there is still a single parcel.
Yes, sir. Okay. For all intents and purposes. We're taking a grand total of 4 and change and making them they are.
I think
So it's taken two
the
reasons.
original owner of that house and the other owners, I think it was Ken something, and I think back years ago, I don't know how it worked out.
So he refuses to make this a residential zone?
He doesn't want it as residential zone, because we did offer the R1. He doesn't want it.
So it's just Okay, any further comments, questions on it?
So be it.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
That's been over 6 months in the making to get it here.
All right, next up, we have Melinda Hill, and she is requesting to rezone her 26.58 acres from A1 to A2 to allow the property to be split into 2 equal tracts. Property is located at 193 Prospect Road in Colbert on map 28, parcel 120 in District 3. And she is simply wanting to split half off for a friend. I think she's selling it, and it's going to be roughly 13.34 acres each. It is in Cuba, but they said that it would not breach it as long as the 2 tracts were equal to each other. So go figure out.
Okay.
And this is not family, this is a friend, huh?
Right. I don't know.
Who knows? Oh, well, we're not concerned about that anymore.
I have one question on this one. So there's 2 residences on the parent parcel.
Just,
There's a house and a
one.
mobile home.
There's just one. Just one home.
On the plat that says 2, and I think on 2 public it says.
Yeah, it says there's a barn.
And a house.
I
House
just
and a
picked up
barn.
one home and outbuilding.
This says mobile home. And a drive with a driveway too.
Now, this is the site plan, so I don't know.
Oh, here's the mobile home over here. Here's the mobile home,
That's just a site.
a house,
So,
and then the
but
barn.
but that would be something that's existing.
So that's what
He said before,
they want to do, right?
3 weeks ago.
Not if it's on the
Because I
survey already.
pulled up and it just
Right.
said one home and outbuilding.
But if this is approved, the house and the barn will be on one parcel and the
Right, and then the
the
mobile
mobile home
home.
will be on the other parcel.
Yes.
Code enforcement will take the swing by there.
But what I was going with that is if there's a house and a mobile home, was one of them already granted an ADU?
As it stands right now, if the split wasn't there, one would be an ADU.
Right. But Q Public only showed us one.
So it's probably an ADU situation that's being split.
And Jonathan checked their signs this month, so I haven't been out.
Okay, anything else? Moving on.
All right, next up is Chris and Ashley Sayers. They're requesting to rezone their 6.55 acres from A1 to AR to allow a second home on the property as an accessory dwelling unit for a family member and to bring the property into compliance with zoning regs. Property is located at 2570 Adams Park Road in Commerce on map 13, parcel 63 in District 1. And, let's see. So this gentleman has a daughter that's going to college, and they're thinking about putting the second home on for her when she's home on the weekends, but also at the same time, his parents are trying to sell their home. They live on Lake Oconee. So they're in fact going to build a house. So it's going to either be used by the daughter some, or when they're going to build one home and it'll be a family member. So bottom line, it'll be used by a family member.
So they don't have to pay
And let's see. And the reason they can't split the land is the current mortgage. Mr. Sayers has a home there, and it's mortgaged up on this whole 6.55 acres. So he's not able to split the land, so the ADU is.
So they know that, what size house is?
I'm not sure.
So obviously, the builder of the second house has no problem with financing.
Exactly. They're gonna use the cash money from their sale on Lake Oconee to build this house. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So we have got Miss Christy Aliewine coming back up again. As y'all know, this was one that was postponed because 2 tracks were gonna be involved instead of one. So I'll read those. Christy Aliewine is requesting to rezone her 7.9 acres from A1 to AR to allow an equal land swap to be made with her adjoining property on map 17, parcel 77 for required road frontage. Property is located at 414 Snow Farm Road in Hull on map 17, parcel 152 in District 1. And also on the docs is the same one that we postponed. That was the new one. And then the one we postponed is Christy Aliewine requesting to rezone her 5-acre portion of her 41.28 acres from A1 to AR to allow the split to gift son. The remaining 36.28 acres will stay in the A1 zone. Property is located at 280 Snow Farm Road in Hull on map 17, parcel 77 in District 1. And so they have gotten a new site plan, and it's just a little bit, that literally 0.02 of an acre to allow her to have 150 feet of road frontage for the 5-acre parcel.
Just in case any of y'all questions, when you go by or check it out, this used to be a gathering hall, Aliewine gathering hall, but it was re-permitted and brought up to residential standards, and it is a dwelling now, all legal.
That's a barndominium?
It's kind of what it looks like now, to be honest. It was a gathering hall, had big bay doors that would open up kind of like a barn dominium, and then I guess you could say the reception area, that was all enclosed with bathrooms, bedrooms, and all re-inspected and repainted.
Question? Either one of those? Hearing none.
Okay. Next up, we have Greg Vaughn, applicant for.
I'm sorry, can we back up a second?
Sure.
On the parent parcel, on the 72 acres that are left, on the L1, the remaining 36. There's a home on that, right?
Yes,
Home
on
on
the
that
very back
parcel?
against the pond.
Okay. How do you get to that parcel?
There's a pre-existing easement. When you go down Snow Farm Road, if you're coming from this side, the Danielsville side, on your right, you'll first come to the entrance for the parcel getting rezoned.
Right.
You'll pass through several Leyland cypress-looking trees, and there's another drive that the property is also owned by Ms. Aliewine and has a pre-existing easement.
That triangular looking piece.
Comes up, and that accesses the back of the house.
So if she gets access going across another parcel, it's hers.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry.
All right, so we've got Greg Vaughn. He is the applicant for the Jean Cole Estate / David Cole. He is requesting to rezone 27.29 acres and 39.15 acres from A1 to A2. Property is located at 0 New Haven Church Road in Danielsville on map 52, parcels 4 and parcel 4-01 in District 1. So he is just wanting to change the zoning, and no site plan was required on this one. But this was one tract of land. It was 66.44 acres. And on November the 8th, he split it into 2 tracts, one containing the 27 acre and the other the 39 acre tract.
Both of them qualify for A1, but he wants to change to A2.
Yes, sir.
Is that a?
Don't split it.
I know a little more than he said on the application. They originally wanted to build several homes over there all off of the road, but they didn't want to abide by our major subdivision regs. He had wanted to build a house for himself and his children over there, and then pay for the building of their homes with the sale of the builds. Now, it's my understanding that he split it. Now he wants to split each one a second time and create 4 parcels over there and build homes. Which would give him a grand total of 3 splits from the parent parcel within 3 years. So he wouldn't fall into the major subdivision regs.
Which is late.
Which is like,
Okey-dokey. Questions? Comments? All right.
Okay. Next up, we have Thomas Flowers. He is requesting to rezone 15 acres. Let's see, he is requesting to rezone 15 acres. He is wanting to rezone a portion of his property from A1 to AR to allow a split for his daughter, and the other portion from A1 to A2 to bring the property into compliance with zoning regulations. Property is located at 672 Winds Lake Road in Comer on map 80, parcel 52A in District 4. And what's happening here is it's treated as a dual rezone. He's wanting to give his daughter 5 acres, which will require the AR zone, and then the remaining 10 acres we're going to take from A1 to A2 to bring it into compliance. This will be the 3rd split for that parent parcel. He is in Cuba, but this will not reach due to it being his kin, and just 5 acres on this one.
He says shop, does he do some kind of work? He has your own business, or it's just a shop?
Yeah, just personal.
I'm beginning to think nothing breaches Cuba.
I know. Yeah.
we cover our rear ends, make sure everybody knows.
Absolutely.
Getting the sound that way.
Is both tracks gonna have enough road frontage on it?
Yes.
Any questions? Moving on.
Okay.
That's one I'd recommend everybody go into. It's beautiful. Beautiful setup over there.
All right, next up, we've got Franklin Hall, and he is the applicant for his nephew Corey Hall, and he is requesting to rezone his 15.43 acres from A1 to AR to allow a portion to be split and gifted to his uncle for inheritance purposes. Property is located at 0 Gunnell Road in Comer on map 68, parcel 6701 in District 2. So, the nephew has the property in his care for whatever reason, and he's wanting to give, his uncle 5.5 acres as part of the inheritance. And as it stands now, the property is lawfully non-conforming, so in doing this, it'll help bring it into compliance as well.
Ms. Tracy, on the site.
Yes,
Sorry.
sir.
Was that a pre-existing easement or one that they proposed to go in?
Let me look, I think.
Sorry, Chairman, I just
Go right here.
came right out without thinking, I apologize.
Trying to look, make sure.
Yeah, that's no point. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So it is a proposed, not in place.
So there's gonna be a dirt road? Okay. Do they know?
And probably, I wouldn't think he would pave it.
But,
But the other parcel has its own road frontage.
oh, well, he needs the easement to get back into the back.
Right, yes. He's cutting that 5.5 off.
So it's gonna be a private drive.
No, easement.
Oh. And you're gonna have to have so much road frontage for that road.
Just 30 feet wide. And he's leaving plenty of road frontage for the other property in front of him.
Further questions? All right, last one.
Okay. We've got Gary Harvin, applicant for Henley Woods LLC, Trip Strickland, is requesting to rezone his 6.22 acres. He is requesting to rezone a portion of the property from A2 to R1 with an existing home to split and sell, and the other portion from A2 to AR to sell. And actually, I think he come back and said that he was not gonna sell the remaining part, but to or another. The property is located at 1405 Madison Street in Danielsville on map 67, parcel 13 in District 2. And, so he's just, like I said, 1.5 acres to R1 to sell, and the 4.713 acres to AR not to sell.
So there's already a building and a house. And a well. What about the other? We gonna run into the well?
That proposed easement go from 98 all the way over to the other road over there, Madison Street. Or is that an existing driveway?
Zoom, top middle, if you want to zoom.
We going by the house and the well.
Yeah. It cuts off in 98, goes right to the 1.5 acres they're proposing.
Looks like it goes all the way to the next road over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to do that.
Christopher, do you know how close this is to the city limits of Danielsville?
I think one side of it abuts the city limits.
I think there's a parcel in between.
What's that?
But it's close.
It's either one or two parcels.
One or two. Depending on which way you go, it's either one or two, or at a weird cross angle. Looking at it, the highlight.
Yeah.
One.
Questions on this one? I believe it was. Okay, anything else need to be the old business?
I was privy to some information later today, and I don't know if it's went out to everybody from Emma Strickland at the chamber. My understanding is that MAC2 with the golf course development is gonna be before the Board of Education tomorrow at 8:30. I don't know if that's at the Board of Education's office or
What's that, the
chamber.
It's actually, well, Board of Education Chamber, the same building. It's actually in the chamber office.
Okay.
I got an email asking me to come. I can't come. I can't go.
I just wanna make sure in case it didn't go out, that y'all knew there was gonna be another discussion.
Kenneth is going in case the rest, everybody else may or may not be going to represent the kids. It's 8:30 in the morning at the chamber office, which is in the Board of Education building.
I have been privy to, some information I feel comfortable sharing with y'all until Mike smacks me.
You're too big.
You hear that, Mama? I'm too big. They are talking about making it all private and gated now. And all the roads falling under the homeowners association to maintain and everything, to where it takes it off the county and then gating it and fleet. And then, my understanding of the IDDA conversation is they were gonna pay for the 1.2 miles of the pipe that had to be laid and put in a fire hydrant every 1,000 feet as required.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, grapevine, but it had to deal with zoning, so I felt I'd let y'all know I found out about that about 5:15 today. And I can't speak to, it's.
So I really wasn't crazy about that.
We won't confirm anything.
We're not because of that much.
Okay, anything else? Anything else? If not, then motion to adjourn. Everybody speak at one time.
Who was first and who was second? I'm sorry.
First, she was second.
Cynthia.
Thank you.
That we're adjourned. Have a good evening. Yeah. The main entrance, the old middle school building.
Happy New Year. Good to see y'all.
Go to the last driveway and turn in there and park.